although a crime of passion, by now it would have faded forgotten into history but for the impassioned and eloquent words of a Freemason. The facts of the case were never in doubt. The killer admitted firing his gun in anger and leaving the body where it fell. The morning after the crime, the killer's neighbor, Charles Burden, found the body. Enraged, he began a year-long battle to bring Leonidas Hornsby to justice for killing Old Drum, Burden's hunting dog. Leonidas Hornsby was an angry man. Something was killing his sheep, and he wanted it stopped. Any of the predatory wildlife in the area around his Kingsville, Missouri farm could have killed the sheep, but for some reason Hornsby was certain dogs were responsible. "I've had it," Hornsby told a neighbor. "I'm going to kill the next dog I see on my property." Then, on the evening of October 28, 1869, Hornsby found Old Drum wandering on his farm and made good on his promise. Hornsby's brother-in-law, Charles Burden, lived on the adjoining farm. On occasion, Burden and Hornsby had gone hunting together with Old Drum, and Hornsby had even called him one of the best hunting dogs I have ever seen. That October evening, all of Burden's dogs came home except one, Old Drum. The next morning, Burden went in search of his favorite hunting dog and discovered the body. Hornsby never denied shooting the dog, and Burden did the only thing he could in order to gain some degree of justice. He sued Hornsby for damages. The trial turned into one of the most convoluted circuses in Missouri legal history. Through the original trial and 3 appeals, the dispute finally reached the Missouri Supreme Court on September 23, 1870. Along the way, the case attracted a bevy of high-profile lawyers, including David Nation, husband of temperance zealot Carrie Nation, and Brother Thomas Crittenden, a future Missouri governor whose dead or alive reward led to the killing of Jesse James. Burden's attorney throughout was Brother George Graham Vest, a member of a lodge in Frankfort, Kentucky, and also a member of the York Rite in Sedalia, Missouri. Vest, a future U.S. Senator from Missouri, easily got Hornsby to admit he did not see Old Drum doing any harm to his property, nor was he certain it was dogs that were killing his sheep. Although the crime was vicious, it was nonetheless a misdemeanor. Its record was destined to fade unnoticed into history until Brother Vest stood for his closing argument. His inspired words now stand as legendary to dog lovers and have been cast in bronze on monuments to those faithful companions. What he said was so powerful that acclaimed author William Safire said it was one of the greatest speeches of the millennium. Vest's oratory, said Safire, ranks with that of Patrick Henry, Abraham Lincoln, and maybe God. Laying the facts and arguments of the case aside, Vest addressed the jury. He said, "The one absolutely unselfish friend that man can have, the one that never deserts him, and the one that never proves ungrateful or treacherous is his dog. He guards the sleep of his pauper master as if he were a prince. When all other friends desert, he remains. And when the last scene of all comes, and death takes the master in its embrace, and his body is laid away in the cold ground, no matter if all other friends pursue their way, there by his graveside will the noble dog be found. his head between his paws, his eyes sad but open in alert watchfulness, faithful and true, even to death. History records that when Brother Vest returned to his seat, there was not a dry eye in the courtroom. The Supreme Court of Missouri later upheld the jury's verdict. Leonidas Hornsby was guilty of the killing of Old Drum and was to pay Charles Burden damages amounting to the sum of $50, the maximum amount allowable. In 1958, the Chamber of Commerce, with the backing from dog lovers across the country, erected a monument to Old Drum on the Johnson County Courthouse lawn in Warrensburg, Missouri, near the site of the crime. It pays tribute to Old Drum and George Graham Vest, a backwoods Missouri lawyer and Freemason who was the first person ever to call a dog man's best friend. For the Whence Came You podcast, this is Steve Harrison with the Masonic Minute.